Okay, so I just had one of the most aha moments I've had in a really long time, and I just wanted to kind of talk about it. Brene Brown, this author that I have been reading a ton, I literally just pulled over on the side of the road to talk about this because I feel like it's something that we all could benefit from, and for me lately, this is something I've been struggling with, and I just honestly was so put in my place by a book, so I wanted to talk about it a little bit. So Brene Brown, she's this amazing author. Her TED Talks, I've talked about her a few times. If you watch my stuff, you know that I love her. And I will often refer to her when dealing with certain things and when talking about certain things, but her TED Talk is the most viewed. And her book, she has 3 books, and I'm listening to Rising Strong right now. So this is the 3rd one I've listened to. And she asked a question. I was just driving home from doing breakfast with some friends and the kids. And I turned on Audible while the kids are asleep, which I have to show you. Look how funny. That's the life of a mama. And you appreciate nap time. So while they're sleeping, I literally pulled over. So she asked the question, do you think that in general people are doing the best that they can? Now, I want you to kind of think about it, because you got to pause. Like, I kind of want you to pause it and think about it and think about your answer, because it's interesting. And she considers herself a researcher, so she interviews hundreds of people and gets their responses and then collects her data and talks about it in her books. So she asked that question, and I found myself thinking, yeah, I thought, I'm sure, people are doing the best they can. Yeah, in general, probably. And then I sat there and thought, wait, I'm not always doing the best that I can. I thought about in the mornings how I can't seem to do dishes, on top of getting the kids ready, on top of making sure my entire house is clean, on top of putting stuff in the crock pot for my husband to have at night, and getting myself looking presentable, and getting the kids in the car, and all of these things that I'm like, that would be me doing my best if I could manage all of that all day without the kids freaking out, without a meltdown, getting to where we need to get on time. So I start to go through these things in my head, and I start to think, if I'm not doing my very best, then everybody's probably not always doing their very best either. So it was really interesting, because so I thought, if I'm not doing my best, everyone's probably not doing their very best. And so she goes on to say, she felt similar to me. And she said, I noticed a lot of people who said they don't feel like people are doing their very best are actually really hard on themselves, and they're that hard on other people. And then the people who say, yes, I feel like everyone is genuinely trying to do their very best, she said those are wholehearted people who don't expect much from others and are living in a better mindset and in a better place. And I sat there and thought to myself, oh my goodness. Because lately, Jared and I have had countless conversations lately about how I feel like I am being let down by certain people, and I have expectations for certain people in my life, and I am finding myself let down. And Jared has told me, why is this? Why do you find yourself let down? And why, you can't have these expectations with people, and it kind of worries me that you are going to be let down over and over and over and over. And in my head, I'm like, all I'm asking is for people to just be good people and to treat people with decency. And, in my head, it made sense. But listening to this and listening to her, I sat there and thought, oh my goodness, I've been that person. I've been that person who doesn't think that everybody's doing their very best. And it puts me in a place of judgment. And it makes me judge those around me. And it's actually completely toxic. And I feel like it's been, I know exactly what Jared is saying now. He's been trying to tell me that he's worried about this. And I just have been standing strong and saying, no, I'm just expecting people to be greatness. I don't know. I'm expecting excellence from people. And I don't feel like that's a bad thing. But what she said is, in all the research that she's done, all the people who were living wholeheartedly and felt like people were genuinely trying their best, she said those people take themselves out of judgment. And they're not judging those around them. They're living with I feel like she is doing the very best she can with what she has, and he's doing the very best he can with what he has, and so there's no place for me to judge or me to expect anything from them, and just to serve and to be in a wholehearted place of love. So I wanted to talk about this because it's been something that is on my mind, and I don't necessarily think that it was wrong for me to be hard. I'm hard on myself. I'm really hard on myself, and that makes sense why I'm hard on others. But I have noticed myself pulling away and getting angry with certain people and really holding resentment. Like, why can't someone act the way I want them to act? Which is so silly and so dumb. And her book, once again, she just like answered my prayers and answered a huge question that I've been having. And I loved her for it. So I wanted to just share that, and I hope that helps with somebody else. I hope somebody else can relate to that, because that was huge. That's huge for me. And I think if I just live in that place of love and thinking, you know what, that person really is doing probably the best that they can with what they have, and it's better to think that anyway. So anyway, really interesting. Brene Brown is honestly incredible. I love her, and I love her stuff. And Rising Strong is the book. I think it was I'm in like chapter 6. I'm actually guessing. I'm listening to it on Audible, so I just flip it on when the kids are asleep and I have a second. But I pick up greatness from her constantly, so I would highly suggest it, and hope that made some sense. Hope you liked it. I don't know. Maybe it meant nothing to you, but for me, that was kind of an answer to my prayers, so wanted to share. Anyway, have a good one. Bye.